My beloved child, I am still here with you, still speaking, still holding space for your heart, because healing is not rushed and love does not stop talking when things get quiet, and I want you to remember this on the days when you feel unseen or forgotten. I am closer than your breath, nearer than your thoughts, and even when your mind feels noisy and crowded, my presence remains calm and steady within you. I know you sometimes feel torn between wanting peace and fearing what will happen if you finally relax, as if staying tense is the only way to stay prepared, but preparedness rooted in fear is exhausting, while preparedness rooted in trust is restful, and I am teaching you the difference slowly, gently, without force, because I am patient with your learning curve, and I know there are moments when you feel ashamed that you are still struggling, moments when you think you should be stronger by now, wiser by now, more peaceful by now, but growth does not follow a straight line. It moves in cycles, it deepens over time, and every return to trust, no matter how many times fear pulls you away, strengthens you more than you realize. I see how hard you are trying even when no one else does. I see the silent battles, the private prayers, the effort it takes just to get through ordinary days, and none of that is invisible to me, none of it is wasted, because I honor perseverance, especially the kind that happens quietly, without applause. I also want you to understand that you do not need to earn my protection by being good or calm or faithful enough. My protection surrounds you because you are mine, not because you performed well today, and even on the days you feel messy and overwhelmed and unsure, my covering does not lift, my care does not weaken, my commitment does not change, because I am not like people who grow tired or distant. I am constant, and that constancy is meant to become your anchor. I know fear has taught you to scan for danger, to read between lines, to anticipate problems, and while awareness can be useful, hypervigilance steals your ability to rest, so I am teaching you how to soften again, how to let your guard down without feeling unsafe, how to trust that you do not have to monitor everything for things to be okay, because I am watching over you even when you sleep, even when you stop trying, even when you let go, and I want you to notice how peace feels in your body when it comes. Even briefly, the slower breath, the eased shoulders, the gentle warmth, and instead of fearing its loss, allow yourself to receive it fully, because peace is not fragile, it grows stronger the more you welcome it. I also know there are questions you carry that have no clear answers yet, questions about timing, about purpose, about why certain doors closed or never opened, and unanswered questions can feed anxiety, but I want you to know that mystery does not mean neglect. It means there is more happening than you can currently see, and I am inviting you to live comfortably with some unknowns, not because they do not matter, but because you do not have to solve them to be safe. Your safety is not dependent on understanding everything, it is dependent on being held, and you are held, always. I see the moments when you feel lonely even around others, when fear isolates you internally, and you wonder if anyone truly understands. And in those moments I want you to remember that I understand fully, without explanation, without words, and I am able to meet you in that loneliness with a presence that does not demand anything from you, just your honesty, and you are allowed to bring me your doubts, your anger, your confusion, your exhaustion. None of it pushes me away, it draws me closer, because real relationship is built on truth, not pretending. And I also want to speak to the future version of you that you worry about, the you who may face challenges you cannot imagine yet. You wonder if you will be strong enough, wise enough, capable enough, but you do not need today's strength for tomorrow's problems. You will receive what you need when you need it, just as you always have, and if you look back honestly, you will see that you survived things you once thought you could not because you were so strong, but because help met you along the way, and that will continue. I will not ask you to face tomorrow with today's resources. I will meet you there with fresh grace, fresh strength, fresh peace, and I no fear tells you that if you let your guard down, something terrible will surprise you, but life has always had surprises, both painful and beautiful, and fear did not prevent the painful ones, while trust has allowed you to experience the beautiful ones fully. So do not let fear rob you of openness. Openness is where love flows, creativity grows, and connection deepens. And I also want you to stop carrying responsibility for outcomes that are not yours. You can do your part with integrity and care, but results belong to me. You do not need to control how others respond, how situations unfold, or how quickly things change. Your role is faithfulness in the present moment, and that is enough. And when you stumble, when fear wins a moment, when worry returns louder than you expected, do not condemn yourself, simply return to me again, because returning is the practice, not perfection. And each return strengthens the bond between us, until trusting me becomes more natural than fearing the unknown, and one day you will notice that you are no longer constantly checking for danger, no longer replaying worst-case stories, no longer waking up with dread, and even if fear whispers occasionally, it will sound distant, unfamiliar, weak, because peace will have taken its place, and that peace will not make you passive, it will make you steady, compassionate, wise, and present, and you will look back on this season not with shame, but with gratitude, because it shaped you, softened you, deepened you, and drew you closer to me, and I will still be here then as I am now, walking with you, loving you, guiding you, reminding you again and again that you are safe, you are cherished, you are never alone, and you never have to face life by yourself. My precious child, I am still speaking to you and I am not finished, because your story is still unfolding and my work in you is still active, and I want you to hear this deeply, not just with your ears but with your heart. You are not behind, you are not late, you are not failing at life, even when it feels that way, because I measure progress differently than you do. I measure it in courage to keep going, in willingness to trust again, in softness that remains even after hurt, and every time you choose not to harden your heart, not to give up, not to isolate. You are moving forward even if the outside of your life looks unchanged. I know you sometimes wake up and feel heavy without knowing why, as if fear has settled into your bones overnight, and you wonder why peace feels so far away again. But emotions rise and fall like waves. They are not permanent truths, they are signals passing through, and you do not have to obey every feeling that shows up. You can acknowledge it and still choose trust, and I am with you in that choice, strengthening you quietly, steadily, faithfully. I also know there is a part of you that is afraid to hope too much, because hope feels risky. Hope opens the door to disappointment, and you have been disappointed before, deeply, painfully, in ways that left marks, so you learn to protect yourself by lowering expectations, by preparing for the worst, by staying guarded. But I want to heal that guarded place, because while it protected you from pain, it also limited your joy, and I do not want you to live a life half open, always bracing, always waiting for the next blow. I want you to live open and free, trusting that even if pain comes again, I will be there to carry you through it just as I always have, because avoiding hope does not actually prevent pain, it only prevents life, and I created you for life in abundance, not survival mode. I know you sometimes feel like you must be strong all the time, like showing weakness will make you a burden or will cause others to lose respect for you, but strength in my kingdom looks different. It looks like honesty, it looks like tears that are not hidden, it looks like asking for help, it looks like resting when you are tired, and I am not impressed by how much you can carry alone. I am pleased when you let me carry things with you, because relationship is what I desire, not performance. And I also see how fear has affected your body over time, how tension became normal, how shallow breathing felt familiar, how restlessness settled in, and I want you to know that your body is not broken. It has been doing its best to protect you, even when the danger was only perceived, and now it needs gentleness, patience, and safety to relearn how to rest. So be kind to your body, listen to it, care for it, speak life over it, because healing is happening there too, slowly, surely. And I am guiding that process even when it feels frustratingly slow. I also want to talk to you about trust, because trust is not the absence of questions, it is the decision to stay connected even when answers are missing. You may never fully understand why certain things happened, why prayers seemed unanswered, why doors closed painfully, why loss touched you the way it did, but trust does not require full understanding, it requires knowing my character, and my character is good, faithful, loving, and unchanging, even when circumstances are confusing, and when you cannot trace my hand. You can still trust my heart, because I have never acted against your good, not once, and one day you will see connections you cannot see now, and things that felt meaningless will make sense, but until then, I walk with you in the not knowing, and that companionship matters more than explanations. I also know fear has made you second-guess yourself, doubt your decisions, replay conversations, wonder if you said the wrong thing or chose the wrong path, and this constant self-doubt is exhausting. So I want you to know that I guide willing hearts, not perfect planners. You are allowed to make mistakes, you are allowed to change direction, you are allowed to learn as you go, and I am able to redirect you even if you take a wrong turn. Nothing is wasted with me, not even detours, not even delays, not even failures, because I am skilled at bringing beauty out of unexpected places, and you do not need to be afraid of choosing wrong, because your life is not a fragile puzzle that breaks if You make one incorrect move. It is a story held by a faithful author who knows how to weave every chapter together. I also want you to hear this clearly. You are allowed to enjoy rest without guilt. You are allowed to stop without explaining yourself. You are allowed to say no without feeling like you are disappointing everyone, because rest is not something you earn after exhaustion, it is something you need to function well, and when you rest, you are not falling behind, you are aligning yourself with how I designed you to live, and I want you to begin noticing moments of calm, however small, the quiet breath, the gentle thought, the brief smile, the moment when worry loosens its grip. These are signs that peace is growing, and instead of dismissing them or fearing they will disappear, acknowledge them. Thank me for them. Let them remind you that fear is not as powerful as it once was, and it will continue to weaken as you keep choosing trust. I also want you to release the pressure to fix yourself. You are not a problem to be solved, you are a person to be loved, and I love you fully right now. Not after you heal, not after anxiety leaves, not after you become stronger, but now, exactly as you are, and healing flows best from love, not from pressure. So stop fighting yourself. Stop criticizing your pace, stop comparing your journey, and start partnering with me gently, patiently, faithfully. Because I am not in a rush, and I am not disappointed, and as time passes, you will notice that fear speaks less loudly, that its threats feel less convincing, that your body relaxes more easily, that your mind finds quiet more often, and even when fear tries to return, it will no longer feel like home. Peace will, and you will recognize that shift as evidence of healing. And when doubts come again, as they sometimes will, return to my promises, return to my presence, return to the truth that you are not alone. You never have been, and you never will be. Because I am with you in the morning and in the night, in strength and in weakness, in calm and in fear, and I will remain with you until peace is not something you chase, but something you live in, naturally, freely, securely, knowing in the deepest part of you that you are safe, you are loved, and you are held forever. My dear child, I see the fear holding your heart, the anxiety that wakes you in the early hours, the worry that follows you all day, and I have come to end its control over you, because I know your racing thoughts, the tight chest, the mind that imagines disaster before anything happens, and I know how you try to control everything hoping the fear will leave, but it never does. Instead it grows stronger and steals your peace, and I tell you now that this cycle stops here, because you were never meant to carry your whole future alone. Never meant to solve everything before it happens, never meant to live afraid of what might go wrong. This is not the life I planned or promised, because the life I give is free from anxiety, full of peace, trust, and rest in me. So tell me, when did you last feel true peace, sleep without racing thoughts, wake with joy instead of dread? Because I remember when your heart felt light, when laughter came easily, when the future felt hopeful, and I want to bring you to an even better place where peace does not depend on circumstances, joy cannot be stolen, and you walk through storms knowing I am with you and will not let you fall, because your fear has roots in past pain, childhood wounds, loss, bad experiences, constant bad news, and a world that feeds fear, and I understand all of it. None of it defines your future, because fear has been used to trap your mind with lies and worst-case stories. But its power is false and breaks the moment you stop believing it, because I am your refuge, your protector, the one who formed you with care and purpose, and I would never abandon you now. I am the same God who breaks walls, calms storms, brings life, and delivers people, and your fear is not bigger than my power. Most of what you fear never happens, yet I know fear lives deeper than logic, so I am not just teaching you peace, I am placing it inside you now, slowly loosening the tension, shifting your heart. Because my peace is not like the world's temporary comfort, it stays steady in chaos, does not depend on answers, and rests in knowing I am good, in control, and love you deeply, and this peace is a gift, not something you earn. So open your hands and let go of worry even though it feels familiar, because it has stolen your joy and health for too long. Imagine life without that weight, waking with hope, facing challenges with trust, being present, relaxed, clear, and free. This is the life I am calling you into, not through methods or techniques, but through knowing me, because when you know my presence, fear loses control. You may feel fear, but it no longer rules you, and I have always been faithful, with Joseph, with Israel, with Daniel, with my disciples, and I am the same with you. Your problem is not too big, your fear not too deep, but I need your trust, surrendering control you never truly had, choosing peace over worry moment by moment, turning fearful thoughts into prayer, breathing, pausing, trusting. Because transformation happens in small choices. I do not judge your fear, but I ask you not to let it have the final word. Bring it to me, speak honestly, and in my presence it loses its grip, because I have given you power, love, and self-control. Fear does not define you, it is not your identity, it can be healed, but I will not force you. I ask you to let me into the broken places, because that is where healing flows. I know your fears of loss, failure, rejection, lack, and the future, and none of your worrying has protected you, but I can free you from living in fear of tomorrow. I can use your failures. My love is not conditional. I am your provider. Your future is known to me, and even your worst fears are already accounted for in my plan. I know the physical weight anxiety has placed on your body, and as peace grows, your body will rest again. So watch the lies fear tells you, the always, never, what if, and replace them with trust. Remember my promises, speak them, hold them close. Remember my faithfulness in your past, because I am working even when you cannot see it, and a life of peace is waiting for you. Rest, clarity, joy, health, freedom, and there is no shame in your struggle. Fear not is not a command but an invitation to rest in me, so guard your mind, choose rest, practice gratitude, talk to me often, share with safe people, care for your body, release useless worry, and let me heal deeper wounds. Because this is a journey, not a race, and I am patient, present, and faithful every step. Your freedom will bless others too, and I have plans that require you to move forward even while fear is still there. Trusting my strength, you do not need all the answers, just trust the one who has them, because I promise I will never leave you. I will provide, I will use your pain, I am working even now. My love is unconditional, my plans are good, and what I start I will finish, so build your life on these truths, because healing is possible for you, and fear does not get the final word. My beloved child, I continue speaking to you because my words are not finished and my care for you has no end. I want you to understand even more deeply how safe you are with me, how watched over, how known, because there has never been a single moment of your life where I was unaware of what you were feeling, even the fears you never spoke out loud, even the thoughts you were ashamed to admit, even the worries you tried to push down and ignore. I saw them all and I stayed. I did not turn away. I did not grow tired of you. I did not grow frustrated with how long it has taken, because love is patient and my love for you is endless, and I know there are days when you feel strong and hopeful and other days when fear crashes back in like a wave and you wonder if anything has really changed, but I need you to know that growth is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes the deepest healing happens quietly, beneath the surface, where you cannot measure it yet, like roots growing deep into the ground before a tree ever appears tall and strong. And every time you choose to breathe instead of panic, to pray instead of spiral, to trust instead of control, something inside you is changing even if you cannot see it yet, and those changes are permanent. They are not wasted, they are building a foundation that fear will not be able to shake later, because I am not only interested in calming you for a moment, I am interested in transforming you for a lifetime. I am shaping you into someone who can stand steady even when uncertainty surrounds you, someone who can feel fear and still move forward with courage, someone who can face tomorrow without needing to know every detail, because you know me, and knowing me is enough. I know how often you replay the past in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently, blaming yourself for things that were never fully in your control, carrying regret like a heavy bag you refuse to put down. But I want you to release that too. Because the past does not own you, your mistakes do not define you, your failures did not cancel my plans, and nothing you have been through was able to separate you from my love. I was there in the moments you thought ruined everything, quietly redirecting, gently guiding, preparing new paths you could not yet see, and even now I am redeeming things you thought were lost forever, turning pain into wisdom, turning wounds into compassion, turning broken places into spaces where my strength can shine. And I know you sometimes fear that if you stop worrying, something bad will happen, as if your anxiety is somehow protecting you, as if your constant alertness is keeping disaster away. But that is another lie fear has taught you. Worry has never been your shield. I have always been your protector. Even on the days you worried the most, it was not your fear that kept you safe, it was my hand. And even on days when things went wrong, when pain still found you, I was there carrying you through it, giving you strength you did not know you had, surrounding you with help you did not expect, and bringing you through when you thought you would break. So do not believe the lie that you must stay anxious to stay safe. Safety comes from me, not from constant tension. I also want you to understand that peace does not mean a life without challenges. It means a life where challenges no longer define you or control you. it means storms may still come, but they no longer steal your identity or your hope. It means you learn to sit calmly in the boat even when waves rise, because you trust that I am there, and I am stronger than the storm. And there will be moments when fear surprises you again, moments when your heart races without warning, when old thoughts return, when your body reacts before your mind can catch up. And in those moments I do not want you to panic about panicking. I do not want you to judge yourself or feel defeated. I want you to gently remind yourself that healing is not linear, that a moment of fear does not erase progress, that one hard day does not cancel months of growth. And I want you to speak kindly to yourself in those moments, because I speak kindly to you always. I never shame you for struggling. I never say you should be better by now. I never compare your journey to anyone else's. Your pace is your pace, your story is your story, and I am walking with you at every step. I know there are parts of you that are tired of trying, tired of fighting, tired of hoping only to feel disappointed again. And when that tiredness settles in, fear often whispers that it would be easier to give up, to shrink your life, to avoid risks, to stay small so you do not get hurt again. But that is not the life I created you for. I created you for fullness, for movement, for purpose, for connection, for joy that expands, not contracts. And even when you feel tired, I am not asking you to push harder. I am asking you to lean closer, to let me carry you when your strength feels low, to rest in me instead of retreating from life, because rest with me restores you, while retreating into fear only drains you more. I want you to notice how often fear speaks in urgency, how it demands immediate answers, immediate decisions, immediate reactions, while my voice is steady and calm, never rushed, never frantic, inviting you to slow down, to pause, to breathe, to remember that you are not running out of time. Your life is not behind schedule. My plans for you are not fragile. They do not collapse because you take a moment to rest. They do not disappear because you need help. They are secure because they are held by me. And I know you sometimes compare yourself to others, measuring your progress, your peace, your success, your faith, and feeling like you are falling short. But comparison is another thief of peace, because you cannot see the full story of anyone else. You do not know their hidden battles, their private fears, their quiet struggles. And I did not create you to be a copy of someone else. I created you to be you, with your own timing, your own path, your own unique purpose. And when you try to live someone else's life, anxiety grows. But when you step into the life I have designed for you, peace follows, even if that life looks different from what you imagined or from what others expect. I also want to speak to the part of you that feels responsible for everyone else, the part that carries other people's emotions, problems, and expectations, the part that feels guilty saying no, the part that believes rest must be earned and love must be proven. That burden is too heavy for you, and it was never yours to carry. You are allowed to have boundaries. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to rest without explanation. You are allowed to choose what is healthy for you even if others do not understand. And setting boundaries is not selfish. It is wise. It allows you to love others from a place of fullness instead of exhaustion. And I will support you as you learn to release what is not yours to hold, because I am strong enough to carry what you are not. I also know there are moments when fear disguises itself as logic, when it sounds reasonable, when it lists facts and possibilities and statistics, and it convinces you that anxiety is just being realistic. But realism without hope becomes despair, and wisdom without trust becomes control. And true wisdom always includes me. It acknowledges uncertainty while resting in my faithfulness. So when fear presents itself as reason, ask where it is leading you. Is it leading you toward peace or toward paralysis?